Hi, Greg Flaherty here with Penny Realty in Pacific Beach, San Diego. Today I want to talk to you about tenant eviction and what to do when your tenant stops paying rent. So, good news is the vast majority of tenants in Pacific Beach and San Diego, they do pay their rent on time. At Penny Realty, we haven't had a tenant go to eviction for many years, but we do have experience with handling tenants that have stopped paying their rent or late pays and what have you. So, how do you not have evictions or stop the late pays? The first and best course of action is thorough screening of your tenants. Make sure you have quality tenants in place that meet your high standards. Second, have a professional lease that is thorough. Third, communicate and educate your tenants right up front. You want to talk to them about paying rent on time and that you will implement late fees. So what's the old saying? The best defense is a good offense. Go on the offense up front. And so this is where a lot of individual landlords, they get in trouble because they often form relationships. They think if they form a relationship with their tenant, that tenant's going to be better to them. They get these emotional bonds going on. But guess what happens? When they don't pay rent, the landlords participate in this emotional connection and they go on that emotional journey with the tenant. And they sympathize with the tenant that can't pay rent. So that part's not good. Most professional managers, like us, we're nice, we're friendly, we'll work with the tenant, but at the end of the day, this is a business. And when they don't pay rent, we do enforce the collection of rent. So in our experience, if a tenant gets much beyond 30 days late or in arrears, it's very difficult to rectify that situation. So there's an old saying in this business that good tenants rarely go bad and bad tenants don't turn good. So you don't want to be, just kind of hanging out there waiting for some divine miracle, like there's all of a sudden going to be some ocean breeze blowing into your desert home. It's not going to happen. So when the tenants don't pay rent, you must take care of business. So in the event of non-payment, what you need to do is serve a 3-day notice to pay or quit. And you want to serve that at the end of your grace period. So typically rent's due on the 1st. A grace period will be either on the 3rd or the 5th or whatever you deem. You want to serve that 3-day notice the day after the expiration of your grace period. So if the grace period ends the 5th, serve that notice on the 6th. California Civil Code is very specific as to how you handle this. If you go through that whole eviction process and you miss one little step on how you served or how you prepared that 3-day notice, a judge could kick that whole thing back and make you start the process all over again. So you got to get this part right. The good news again is the majority of tenants pay their rent on time. If for whatever reason you're not able to work with the tenant, you give them the 3-day notice, they still don't pay, you're really best served by going to a law firm and go to a landlord-only law firm. They will take care of business very well for you, and it's really not that expensive. So it is possible if you handle things professionally and correctly to minimize late pays, minimize evictions. Here at Penny Realty, we run our numbers. We average 1 eviction for every 1,300 leases we sign. So if you have any questions on this, feel free to give me a call. Greg Flaherty, Penny Realty here in Pacific Beach, San Diego.